Greetings everyone and welcome back to Evil Friend going on a psychite binge just as he was about to treat Ica. You, at the scoundrel. What kind of psychite do we have available for them? Oh no. Okay, well, that's going to be an interesting start to the episode. Welcome back, everyone. There have been many developments in your absence. 2 whole patches have come out. One quite major, one more attuning of the new changes. Chief amongst them is that the Psychic Silencer is no longer an item that we're even going to have available to us. I imagine it's already been removed from this save, as it's no longer necessary. There have been big developments with how psychic levels work, with how the Empire works, and some of these are going to be... Well, I mean, it's come at an interesting time. Just as I was about to use the Pain Stopper to allow us to install a Psychic Silencer, we no longer need it. There's going to be a whole new method for Dark Aavak to build up his skills as well. In fact, we're going to have to set up a meditation spot for him. But another thing is there should actually be quite a lot more information in general with regards to drugs. So, recreation, 40% chemical consumption. The chemical is psychite. The high gain per dose, the intensity of high gained per dose of this drug. The high fall rate, 300% per day. How much of this drug's high will decay. High duration per dose. Okay, so this is calculated from the high gain and the high fall. That makes a lot of sense. Tolerance gain per dose, 3%. Tolerance fall rate, 1.5% per day. So every 2 days you completely lost any tolerance you got from consuming it. Safe dose interval. Every 2 days. A user will never become addicted if they never take the drug more often than this. This is calculated from the drug's minimum tolerance to addict, the tolerance gain per dose, and the rate of tolerance decay. Okay, that's completely fair. Note that some drugs don't have a safe interval. Such drugs can addict on any dose, even the first one. Now, this has been a change. Previously, tolerance was calculated at a different time from taking the first dose and the tolerance to addict. As such, things like Go Juice and Yayo and Wake Up and things like that had safe intervals. I do believe that those are no longer the case. But obviously, Psychite Tea does. Rest is how much sleep a creature has gotten recently. If it is at 0, a creature will eventually fall asleep on the spot. So this gives 10 rest. This is a little bit of a problem. New addiction min tolerance at 10%, the minimum tolerance required to become newly addicted to this drug. If the user is below this tolerance level, they can't become newly addicted from taking a dose. New addiction chance is 2%, the chance of addiction per dose of this drug. If the drug has a minimum tolerance to addict, the tolerance must be above that level for this to apply. If there is no minimum tolerance, any dose can addict. So considering tolerance gain, you could probably take 3 doses to be able to build safely. After that, you would have to wait for the whole tolerance to go down. But assuming you just took 1 dose and then waited until that tolerance was gone, you'd need 2 days between each dose. Addiction interval severity, all kinds of new information is now available for drugs, which is super duper useful. But we also super duper need to not have Evil Friend end up addicted to this. How are we going to try and stop this? We've got nowhere we can really wall it off, though I guess I could do something. Where are we going to pop this to keep it out of Evil Friend's way? Ica, need your help with something, Mateo. We don't want to make it out of wood, whatever we make. Let's just go straight for steel. It's probably plentiful right now. Yes, we got plenty of steel available to us. We're just going to make a little corner. I think we're going to possibly pop it over here. We'll pop that in there. We will go ahead and remove this zone. Now, this is one of the ways that you can deal with any kind of potential addiction. Pop that in there. The only thing I want in here, this needs to be a priority critical at this point. So let's clear all. And we're going to go ahead and grab manufactured drugs, psychite tea. There we go. Right. Ica, I need you to move this. Why can you not move that? That's preferred. This should be critical. La rotten, la fresh. That should be okay.
Perhaps what I need to do is tell them to stop storing it in here then. Okay, well, let's go ahead and remove Psych IT. And this is going to be a momentary thing only. Right, can we now haul it? Yes, go. Go, go, go. Let's get this in there, then we can build those 2 walls, and hopefully it'll prevent Evil Friend from overdosing on this. We don't want Evil Friend to become addicted to Psychite, because that's just going to be a massive pain. Right, can we work on this wall, please? And then immediately after that, can we work on this wall? Now, go, go, go. Prioritize working quickly, because Evil Friend is on his way. No, Evil Friend! Okay, stop. 100. As much as that would be funny, it would be completely counterproductive. Because Evil Friend would be stuck inside. What on earth did we make it out of? Why have we got granite blocks there? How curious. Right, go. Let's get this done. Oh, you're currently drafted. There we go. That would explain why you went all the way down there. There we are. So that is now isolated. Evil Friend, you're not going to be able to get any more. I'm sorry. It upsets me too, the idea that you can't have any Psychite. But, oh well, here we are. Right, you've got Psychite tolerance small, Psychite effect multiplier 94%, high on Psychite T for 7 hours, which is all well and good. But that will be it for you. You've had 2 doses, so that's still in the safe territory. You would need to have had 4 to be at a risk of becoming addicted. But it's going to be at least 4 days now before you can have another safe drink of Psychite Tea, I'm afraid. Oh well. Yeah, sure, go ahead and eat and just chill out. It would be great if you could actually... Look, I'm afraid you're going to have to take care of this. A group from Studios Alliance are visiting. They do seem to have some items for trade. Well, that's all well and good. And caravan arrived at Noble's Rest. Fantastic. Let's jump down there. Dark Aavak, Lady Wolfhard, and Yoko have returned. This is grand. Let's get everyone back here. Look how fast Yoko is compared to pretty much everyone but Dark Aavak. Now, we already have a few places where Dark Aavak can meditate. Now, meditating is how, and this is something you can schedule at this point, we can schedule a meditation session. This is how psychics replenish their means of using their abilities. You no longer have like a limitless amount of ability to use your psychic abilities, and then you have hangover and psychic entropy. These were mechanisms that were largely introduced to remove the kind of optimum strategy of massive micromanagement of your psychers to just keep casting certain abilities like focus and so on and so forth. With that, without like the psychic entropy and psychic hangover, it would have been the optimum strategy to just keep doing that, and so some people would have been inclined to do it, but the game would have been less fun as a direct result because of the amount of just blind repeated micromanagement, just constantly the same task, no variation. It's not exactly engaging gameplay. So what we have now is we've got heat. Now, neural heat increases after performing a psycast. Surpassing the normal limit may cause a psychic breakdown lasting days. Neural heat dissipates naturally over time. This process can be accelerated wearing L-Tex apparel or being in pain. This is not actually real heat, but it's a reasonable analogy because of the way that heat will dissipate over time. Your brain isn't getting hotter by using psycast, but it does generate some sort of field which grows more intense and then will just naturally dissipate if allowed to quote-unquote cool. You can share this out like entropy, but there isn't the same sort of problem with going over it as there was before. With this, you can push the limit, and in certain situations, it's going to be beneficial to try. If the situation calls for it, go beyond your max, and maybe you'll be knocked into a psychic coma that'll last a day or two. Maybe not, but you know, when it comes down to you'll die otherwise, it's definitely worth trying. Psi-Focus, now this is the resource that you use. You could think of it like mana, like an internalized mana. You build it up by meditation. It gradually decreases every day, but this is what you spend to run your Psi-casts. Psi-Focus is a special type of mental structure, Structuring, which is necessary to perform psi-casts. Psi-focus dissipates over time and must be built by regular meditation. Losing all psi-focus makes someone unable to perform psi-casts, but has no other consequence. Higher level of psi-focus permit higher level psi-casts, but also increase the rate of psi-focus dissipation. 0 to 25% up to level 2 psi-casts, 25 to 50% up to level 4, and 50 to 100% up to level 6. Psi-focus falls at 3.5% per day if you're only at up to 25%, and so on and so forth. So maintaining a very high level means that you do have to meditate and basically perform maintenance on your psychic abilities daily. Now, if we have a look at the psi-cast we have, this should give us an indication of how much psi-focus it costs. So how much is stun? That's the big one. 1% to use stun. That's perfectly okay. We'll gain 12 neural heat as well. It'll take 0.25 seconds to use and will last for 3 seconds. So there's a lot more stuff that you can do with this. It's a far more fleshed out system than it used to be. And this has also come with a couple of changes to the Empire. The Empire no longer really care about trying to limit the use of psionics. They won't give you the means to improve it, but you can get it from elsewhere. You can totally now be a tribal who learns to use psionic abilities. The Empire is not going to have any issue with that. They're not going to require that you have certain levels or anything along those lines. And it's a very, very big change from what we had previously, because a large part of the reason why we have gone to against the Empire was because we didn't want them telling us when we could use our psionics and what we could and couldn't do with certain weapons. Persona weapons, which were previously Blade Link weapons, are now, again, the Empire don't really care about that. They're not going to get in your way for using it. So a good chunk of things have changed, especially in the way that we're going to interact with the Empire. And specifically, that has perhaps changed a few things that are going to be going on with our particular colony here, but we'll have to see about that. Lady Wolfheart, how about you go and see about trading with our guests? Now, there are a couple of other things that I would very much like to look at. We've got some food coming in here now. That's wonderful. But one thing I would like to do is I really want to change up how we use our batteries right now. I don't feel that this is a particularly useful setup. So, to this end, I'm going to reinstall this battery. I'm going to give it a specific little spot. I'm going to pop it just for there. And you may be wondering, what on earth are you doing, Aavak? But it's going to become apparent with a little bit of time. We're going to hook that up there. So this whole system is then going to be connected. What we're going to do next is we're going to remove the cabling here. So let's go ahead and deconstruct this cabling. There we are. And we're going to remove the cabling down here as well. We're going to leave that little bit at the corner so that it can power the lights in this room. But we're going to have one battery attached to the main system, which is going to power the entire base. So the whole base will draw off this, but there'll only ever be one battery connected to it that is going to be, oh, well, initially, actually, let me cancel that. I want to reorient it, this just a little bit. We're going to reinstall this like so. And eventually I'm going to pop in a new location. Oops, there we go. All right, then let's have a quick look at what we can trade before I continue explaining our power situation. I noticed that we could sell the Vertigo Pulse side trainers. We've got Wall Raise. What levels do these require? There are still levels to the side casts. Silent level of 4. Now, we would have to build up to that. And the minimum silent level required to perform the side casts. Okay, we would need... I think it's going to be quite a while before we get here. We probably don't need 2 of the Vertigo Pulses, so we could happily sell one of them for an awful lot of money, which would give us the means to make a fairly whopping purchase of medicines there, which I feel is always going to be a good move. But they don't really have a lot else to sell us. I don't think we need the components there, so maybe this is not the package of iron wheels. Maybe this is not the right time to make that trade. No, not right now. But that being said, can't afford all the medicine then. But we've only got 9 silver.
Well, I guess we could then. Let's go ahead and purchase 4 packs of survival meals as well, just to have something to buy, because we don't need that there. Just being wealth with which to attract more raiders. But what I'm hoping to do is we're going to reinstall these like this. One battery is always going to be here. The other one is going to be a guest battery that we pop over to charge up. And once we have an ability then, we will start storing these batteries down here. Now, because they won't be a part of any network, there's no chance of them ever exploding, which is always very good. Now, the only issue is that the lights may draw from the batteries rather than anything else. So we'll reposition the lights there and there, and then we'll remove these wall lights as a result. Oh, we can just reposition them. That actually will be very helpful. Sure, okay, reinstall app then. There we go, that's one there, and then we'll do exactly the same with this one. Reinstall that, there we go. Perfect, and Ica is fully healed. Hooray! Well done, Ica. Could you clean this? Why? Oh, this evil friend's blood. Okay, fair enough. This is for Dark Aavak. Good. Right, continue then. Dark Aavak should be making a little bit more food, and in fact, it's going to be good food, which is always nice to see. Right, now then, with that done, perhaps we could prioritize, as soon as you're done there, bring in these, then the survival meals, then the silver. Please and indeed, thank you. Right, Yoko, what are you restricted to? You're currently restricted to roofed, but I don't think you need to be, so I'm going to pop you on unrestricted. There you go. Dark Aavak, you're also unrestricted. That's fantastic. Right, let's see. Now, the Broken Empire, we are currently an enemy of theirs, but there's not as much reason to be at this point, so we may see that change. But back to the power. The idea ultimately will be to have one battery always charging. When that one's close to full, we'll hook up another battery, but since these batteries are fairly low, I may as well hook both of them up and get a kind of a jump start on charging the batteries. But ultimately, all I want is one battery charging up fully until it's close to full, then we'll move over the next battery that needs a charge and then uninstall the previous one, and we'll do it in 3 steps. So get one battery near to full, install a second mostly empty battery, then uninstall the full battery and put it into storage. Batteries will never lose their charge whilst in storage. It's not like oxygen not included, where batteries have a constant power drain. By having them in this storage, they're just there if I ever need them. But generally speaking, of our current power generation setup, we should be good to keep the whole base running off just one battery. We produce a surplus, and that should be all we need to worry about. Right, now, I did mention that Dark Aavak is going to need a little bit of meditation. Now, we can either set this to tell them how often they need to meditate, and we can set a minimum psi focus, and when it drops below that, they'll manage their own time to go and meditate as necessary to keep that minimal level. Or we can schedule in some meditation time. Now, depending on the type of meditation, this can either just increase your psi focus, or if you have an animus tree, then you can meditate at that. And the animus tree is a bit of a special one. We don't have one on the map, but they can survive toxic fallout. So every, I think it's 30 days, it'll check if you've got an animus tree, or it's 20 days. I think the latest patch adjusted that a little bit. And if you don't have an animus tree already, then it will, there'll be a chance of one just growing somewhere on the map. Now you can chop it down and prompt it to try and grow somewhere else so that you can slowly bring it into a more advantageous location for you to meditate at. Obviously, meditating at the animus tree here is going to be a bit of a problem because we're going to have to get out there. But if you meditate on an animus tree, it'll slowly grow grass. And this grass, you can, once it's got a critical mass of it, you can have someone effectively consume the grass. So I get a bit of an impression that it's a little bit more along the lines of interfacing with the grass in such a way that it will cause your colonists to gain a psi-link level. So it's an alternate way to buying psychic neuroformers, which are now the new cyclic amplifiers, renamed psychic amplifiers. Of course, you can still do it the old-fashioned way, but finding them is now going to be much harder because they're not a common trader item. I don't even think traders will ever stock these items. They are quest rewards only from this point onwards, though you can still get them from the Broken Empire with title changes. So, there is that option as well. Other forms of meditation, though, depend entirely on your backstory. So if we have a look at Dark Aavak here, is Jungle Kid a tribal story or not? If Jungle Kid is considered a tribal backstory, then it would mean the Dark Aavak can meditate to nature, could meditate to an animus tree. I think quite a lot of people can, but the benefits are less. But Dark Aavak, for example, if it does count as a tribal childhood, then he could have a nature shrine or a nature stone that he could meditate to. Other options, you can meditate to art. Everyone can meditate to art. An ascetic can meditate to a blank wall. And it's actually one of the more powerful forms of meditation, but only ascetics can do that. They have to have complete minimalism, complete emptiness of the mind is how they meditate. Whereas someone with a tribal childhood, specifically the childhood, not necessarily the adulthood, has to, or rather can meditate to natural sources. Anyone can meditate to art, and the better the art, the more benefit they will get from the meditation. Someone with a more, let's say, interesting backstory, or rather trait, cannibal, bloodthirsty, and psychopath, can meditate on death. This means that Dark Aavak will be able to meditate to a grave. Now, a grave or sarcophagus, sarcophaguses are more important, and if there's a corpse inside, all the better. In fact, it may actually require that there's a corpse inside. But if it's the corpse of someone you know or have some sort of relation to, even more so. So meditating over the sarcophagus of one of your ancestors would be particularly important, and that actually gives enormous meditative gains. Dark Aavak would be the only person in the colony who'd be able to use that particular brand of macabre meditation, but, take every benefit that we've got, really. Right, there we go. We're getting our prisoners treated, which is very good. I am in no great rush to get out here and deal with the mechanoids over there. I think we're probably going to leave that for now. We've got so many other things that we need to work on. First and foremost, I really do want to try and get the batteries installed where they need to go, and then we can move on other things. So Dark Aavak, when you wake up, I would love it if you could finish building all the power conduits, if they still need to be built, because that'll link up the entire system. I'm also, at this point, going to allow some more of our solar panels to be built, because as you can see, we've just run completely out of power, which is actually a little bit of a worry. That's the first time in a long while that's happened. Okay, well, how about once you wake up, you can get down there and because it's going to get cold really fast. Let's try our best and get all of this sorted. There we go. Have we got the power lines in there? Yes, we still do. So try and remove those where possible. There we are. Now that that's all hooked up, we do need that last one sorted out, and we'll be able to take care of that. Oops, I've got a little meeting announcement. Don't worry about that one. I know, computer, it's fine. You can go away. Thank you very much, Windows. But I've already taken care of my alarms, scallywags. Right, is Evil Friend off his Psychite binge? It does look like Evil Friend is off his Psychite binge, which is fantastic, which means everyone else can now have access to Psychite Tea once again. Hooray! We'll also take away that zone. We'll delete that zone in its entirety. Oh dear. Not quite what I was looking for. But I suppose that didn't even get rid of the power conduits, though. So it wasn't what I was looking for at all. Damn it. Can you fix that for me? So unfortunately, I'd reserved it for Dark Aavak there. But there we are. Right. Okay, let's get this place rebuilt, please, and thank you. There we go. All of that done, if you'd be so kind, and then we'll expand this zone out. There we are. And make sure that Psychite Tea can be brought back down here. Whew, got a lot of things to do there. But all in all, things are going well. Now, we really want to keep our eye open for more neural... Is it psychic neuroformers? I believe it's what they're called at this point. I may actually be able to bring up a little bit of information from our Psycast level. If we look at this, Psychic Link, there we are, Psylink. Let's have a look, yeah. Psylink and Neuroformer, there we are. Psilink is now an organic connection to a larger psychic field. This allows a person to use specific psycasts that they have learned to influence reality in ways that seem impossible. Higher levels of Psilink permit the use of more powerful psycasts. Regardless of Psilink level, a person can only use specific psycasts that they have learned. Psilink comes from a variety of sources. Single-use Psilink neuroformer devices can create a Psilink. Tribal peoples also know how to develop it through ritual linking with psychically connected life forms, basically the animatry. As a physical phenomena in the brain, Psilink is poorly understood by scientists, not least because it seems to actively conceal itself if studied too closely. Ah, I see. One thing most agree on is that it somehow connects people to architects and harnesses their power, possibly through some sort of negotiation or sympathy mechanism. Oh, now that is very interesting. It connects them to architects. That is super interesting. But the Psilink neuroformer, a consumable architect-created device that forms or upgrades a Psilink in the user's mind. The user presses the device over the eyes, where it links to the brain directly and restructures part of it. Afterwards, the device disintegrates into worthless ash. And there we go. So, we need to keep our eye out for those. They're going to be hard to come by, but they're going to be incredibly important to get where we can. Right, let's see if we've got enough to build this. It looks like we do, actually, yes. Perfect. Let's get that up and running. This should charge those batteries very fast, but we want to make sure there's only ever one full battery. Even though we've got two here, it's a little bit of a risk because it means that there's going to be two over 50% batteries, so double the risk, really, of it possibly causing an explosion. So, given that, and despite what I was saying earlier, we are actually going to move that straight away. I would like this completely deconstructed, though. And then we're going to reinstall these. Let's pump those up. We're going to be able to fit a whole bank of backup batteries in here. And that's going to be the idea. And we'll swap them out as necessary. To that end, I do want to make a little area where I can stick like a battery socket, perhaps. Maybe even something down here. Just a little something just nestled into the wall where we can build up our power conduits there. Do we want to have marble around here? It's not really that necessary, frankly. Do we have much marble anyway? No, we really don't. So how about not then? What we will do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to smooth the surface down here and there. And actually, we'll only go as far as this because we want just this to be a little nook in here. We're going to deconstruct this wall. And at that point, we will also, furthermore, smooth out these walls behind it. And that's going to give us a little alcove that we can run a line through that we can hook up to the main group. There we are. That one definitely does need to be mined as well. Right, there we are. We're going to have this slowly being replaced with much more durable granite and smoothed granite where possible, given that that's even more durable than regular. Now, I do want this little area back here available so I can continue to mine marble where I can, but we also want to continue this wall off into the distance a little bit up here. To a certain end, I want to mine this away if possible. Yes, I very much do. Though we're going to be entering a kind of a position where this might cause a cave-in. So, to protect from that eventuality, I'm going to add a couple of little bits and bobs here and there. Once we've got this set up, then I should be able to safely mine this back as much as I want. We'll leave this wall there to support the roof, and also it'll be a place where I can pop an extra trap to lure someone into a location which will appear advantageous for them, but will actually be quite deadly. Right, more things that we could do down here. We want to set up a proper defensive area in this location. We're not going full kill box. I don't really want to play around with that right now. It's a little bit too easy, if I'm perfectly honest. It does take away a lot of the challenge of the game, and I don't think I particularly need the challenge to be less. If anything, the whole point of this scenario is to increase the challenge, not decrease it. But that battery's almost full. That is actually grand. Alright, well, let's reinstall this over here. We'll hook that up to the network of conduits right away. And once that's done, we can deconstruct that support there. Fantastic, and we can also do a little bit of mining. Now, once that's done, I'm going to plan out how we want our bedrooms up here as well, because we're going to be expanding out quite a lot. I may have a double wide path leading back here. And this can be another entrance to this kind of back alley that goes up. And I know that's going to increase the odds of having an infestation in the bedrooms. Hopefully we can mitigate that by giving them much better options elsewhere. Right, now that is fully charged. We can completely reinstall it over there and allow the new battery to charge up over time. Right, I want to double wall this off, so let's make sure that this place is nice and protected. In fact, have we got Dark Aavak out? No, Dark Aavak's asleep. Okay, fair enough. Right, well, Dark Aavak, I do kind of feel that I want you to keep a fairly high level of psi focus, if I'm honest with you. So let's actually add in some guaranteed meditative time. Now, Dark Aavak will use time around here as he wishes, but I'm going to say that during your downtime between shifts, you're going to have 2 hours of drafted meditation. There we go. That will ensure that he's taking care of his psi focus at least a little bit. Let's get some slate here. Let's pad that out. There we go. Actually, you know what? Let's use something other than slate just to mark the difference. We'll use page tile. There we are. That'll look quite interesting there. Oh, aha! I was making a mistake. It's because that hasn't been mined yet. What we want is that to come over there. I want a 2 thick wall all along this perimeter, just to dissuade any attacks from outside. That should take care of pretty much everything we need there. Let's have a look at you. How are you doing? You're doing all right. High on Psych IT, 4 hours. Let's just have a look at the drug policy. Let's have a look at pick-me-ups. It should be Psych IT, every 2 days you're allowed 1 dose. Now, smoke leaf joints. Let's have a look at what you've got. Safe dose interval is 2 days. Okay, so it's pretty much the same as Psych IT. All right. Consciousness, obviously it has various other penalties. New addiction minimum tolerance is 15%. New addiction chance is 2%. So you could actually use smoke leaf a lot more. It's a lot less addicting than Psych IT. That's understandable, frankly, because once you've tried tea, how could you ever think of consuming any other kind of stimulant? But because of the massive detriment to consciousness, I am going to drop that down a little bit. But I might allow... I may allow people to use Psych IT much more frequently. Every 2 days. Because there's no particular downside to Psych IT. If you look down here, pain, the amount of pain caused by this condition, we actually reduce the amount of pain that people can feel, and the amount of tiredness. They perk up. They're much more awake as a direct result of using the tea. So, honestly, any. You're allowed to use it at any point. You're allowed to keep one on your routine. You can use it every 2 days. But with regards to smoke leaf joints, only if your mood is below 50%. That way we should manage it a little bit. In fact, I'll drop it down to 45. I think we've got no one who has a potential mood break below that level. Let's have a look at needs. What is your minor break threshold? 35 on Dark Aavak. On Lady Wolfheart, it's 35. Evil Friend, 35. And Ica, unless yours is high. No, that's actually 35. So we're going to tailor this to that particular situation. So pick-me-ups, you can only use it if it's below, let's say, 36. At 36, well, we'll pop it at 40 just because, having it that close might take a little bit of time. I could set it so they've always got one with them, but they'll still wait for a break in order to use it, I believe. So we will keep it at 40% because that'll give us a little bit of time to make sure that they go ahead and grab that. Could we get Dark Aavak ideally? Oh, no. Is your friend taking care of that? No, you are not. Could I get you? Someone is perhaps already... Oh, well done, Ica. Fantastic work. Okay, so things are going okay. Now, we should get a little mail when the anima tree pops up. We may have to wait a full 20 days. It might only be counting from this point, but do mark the passage of time. It is now the 15th of December, and we need to keep our eyes open for an anima tree popping up. We've already got that battery quite well charged. Oh, actually, this is depleting. Is anything drawing from this, though? Let's have a look. Huh. That's interesting. Are they perhaps load balancing? Oh no, there we are. Self-discharging, 5 watts. I was under the impression that they never discharged if there was not something pulling from it, but apparently that is not the case. Has that changed recently? I could have just been operating under the an erroneous. It's grid access and stored, 0 access stored. There's nothing that's pulling from it. Whereas if we look over here, yeah, self-discharge is 5 stored, grid access. It's not really telling me what the consumption is, but yes, it is actually draining. So we'll have to top things up periodically, but I'm reasonably happy with. Oh, that is not quite what I wanted. I'm reasonably happy with this setup, just having these batteries constantly moved around. It's going to require a little bit more micromanaging, and perhaps at some point we'll have just 2 batteries available, but 2 full batteries are potentially quite explosive if things go wrong. But for now, this will work. We are bringing in quite a lot of power, especially during the daytime. We do need to finish up this little area first, though. Let's go ahead and grab the paved tile, pop that in there. We can also then haul this rock out of the way. And little by little, everything is coming together. And I'm actually really, really pleased with what we're managing to do. Right, Termite, let's have a look at you. As far as your prisonership goes, I would like to try and recruit you, but we have no bedroom for you as yet. I could pop you into a barrack, though. And I think it would be better than having you in there all the time. You've still got resistance, so we're reducing that resistance. Let's have a look at your health. Okay. Yeah, you can't walk. It sucks a bit, I'll be honest. We're going to have to make you a peg leg. But we will recruit you before then. Let's get you recruited. For now, I'm not going to pop any bedrooms in here, any bedrolls or anything like that, because it is going to turn this into a barrack, whereas right now we're benefiting from the fact that it is considered a bedroom. But we do have a decent amount of medicine available, and when we install the peg leg, that'll actually be quite nice. Now, I don't recall if you need any particular kind of items. Operations, add bill, can we install a peg leg? Yes, it's just a piece of wood, basically, for that. You've lost your whole right leg and your left big toe, which is so frustrating that both of your legs are basically affected. But this is the main one. Yeah, we just need some wood. It's not going to be great. It really won't. Death chance of fail 0. Success chance multiplier. You're going to succeed. But a peg leg is not exactly the most useful of enhancements, I'm going to be honest. We'll see how that goes. Right, let's go ahead and plan out a little area. Now I'm going to want a 2 wide gap. Let's do something. Well, again, we could have a little entryway around here, maybe even a cooler again. Another, but that's going to require a 3 wide hallway, cooler and door. So what we could perhaps do is have that come up the top here and have a little nook kind of in the wall, perhaps a new chimney area. We could even have something there. If we had a cooler in this wall, then this would be the space that we'd need to isolate. That would mean the door would have to be there. So maybe we won't run that one. We could have the wall run up along this part here. And we could have it round the corner. Because we do want to still have access to all of this marble effectively. That being said, we only need this as far as the main door, and the main door is going to be the only real way in. So how big have we made these? These rooms are 4 internally. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll run that one up there. This one is a nice odd 5. 2, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be the wall around here. And we'd have another 4. So this would be the end of our bedroom. Now, how wide have we made it? We've made it 6 internal. And that is exactly right. There we go. Perfect. So this is the whole of the shape that we would need, but we do want extra cladding on the outside, so we need to move this entire area back by 1 level. There we are. And we would have the door around there. That would be our threshold. So this corridor is going to have to run up and around behind. Now we could, given that, have the entrance on this side just be over here. And that would give us a possibility of adding 2 extra heaters and another cooler just around here. And I think that's actually probably not a bad idea. Let's have the door here, I'm going to say.
And we could have the cooler right there. So then this becomes our new area. This would... Well, we're going to want a nice little area on the inside so that we could have 2 heaters perhaps up against that wall. Then that comes down, and then we've got our corridor area here. Okay, that looks reasonable to me. 2 heaters seems to be a nice amount because it can deal with quite a lot of heating. We're probably not going to need it though, if I'm honest. Given the situation, these heaters probably are probably quite sufficient to manage this. But having 2, it means that when one is on low, it barely has any kind of draw. If we have a look over here, it's only 18 watts. We can easily afford for that, for the added protection that it will provide. Right, well, given that then, let's go ahead and build a new wall here, because we're going to want this internal wall to continue along. Actually, what we're going to want is for that to be marble, thinking about it. So let's get the marble wall and continue that up through here. That being said, this will then, if we have that set up like this, this will be the door. So we're going to need an outside cladding on this wall. That actually does throw things into a bit of disarray. I suppose we could have a little nook, but if we move the entire thing back 1 extra space, then it allows us to put the cladding down here while still having a 2 wide alley over here. And this is the benefit of planning things out like this, is you avoid having problems later on, because they're a lot harder to fix later. So we would have something along these lines, and this would give us a nice bit of cladding there. On this side, it wasn't particularly deep, but that should work, and we can have a little bit of extra cladding around there if we really wanted to, but I don't think that's going to be necessary given the shape of this little area. That should be fine. There we go. All right, so let's get to work then, peeps. We're going to need to deconstruct this. We're going to have a nice big mining tunnel going through here. And that'll be along this wall as well. And we'll replace all of that with marble. We'll have granite cladding going down here. This will be a double thick bit of cladding as well, though we could just move that up because we don't realistically need to dedicate all of this space to just a corridor that's not going to go anywhere. I could have some extra doors down here just as a midpoint entryway without the extra cooler. That would definitely work for us. I don't think there's any particular reason not to. So sure, we'll just not... We'll build that as a marble wall, but we will just remove this and pop in a door. That will be quite nice, because that'll give us access down here, especially if I'm going to put another door in here somewhere so that we can continue excavating the marble back here. I think that would be a reasonable idea. Okay, so let's get a little bit more progress done. Hopefully we'll see some people popping down here to do a little bit of research in there, but honestly, I think peeps are quite busy most of the time. Now, do we have a meditation spot? Is that something I need to place down? It may well be. Production, perhaps? No. Would it be under recreation? Nope. Miscellaneous. Let's have a look. Party spot, caravan spot, marriage spot. There we go. Meditation spot and ship landing beacon as well. We do have doormats that we can start placing down. That would be quite a wise idea, I fancy. If I place this in here, I could put a bit of shelter over it. We know that Dark Aavak can meditate there. Nature shrines, I believe, have to just be away from other objects. We can place them around artwork, though, as well. Lady Wolfheart's bedroom. No, that's fine. We'll leave that one in there. Designate a spot for meditation. Psycast can meditate here to gain psi focus. If a focus object like a sculpture is nearby, the psycast will be able to focus on it to boost their psi focus gain. However, different people are able to use different focus objects. That is the other point, is you can just have a meditation spot and people will use it. That's all they'll need. It's just very slow compared to the other options available. But given that this is going to become a bit more of a graveyard now, rather than just a place where we're sticking the raiders, let's build that up a little bit more. There we go. Something like that, and then we'll put a ceiling in there as well. In fact, let's get rid of that one. Cancel that for now, just so I can build that up properly. And we'll add in
I think having it be outdoors is actually kind of nice, if I'm honest. So we'll build a roof over there. There we go. We'll put the roof out one extra tile. And we'll add this one to the roofed area as a direct result of that. There we go. We'll pop down some nice flooring as well. Just a decent little place. And we'll eventually replace these with sarcophagi, I'm certain. That would actually be very beneficial for Dark Aavak and anyone else who ends up wanting to meditate here. What kind of flooring do we want? It really doesn't matter what kind of flooring we use. So I'm going to go with slate on the outsides at the very least. There we are. And down here. And across there as well. There we go. Won't worry about clearing out those little areas. On the inside, we'll probably have something else. Maybe even go for some actual brick flooring. We will have to see. But I'm going to allow our colonists to get a couple of things done. Oh, apparently the Pseudos Alliance are here again. I mean, I appreciate it. I'm going to be honest. The Pseudos Alliance bringing traders this often is actually quite a grand thing. Sure. We'll get out there and we'll do a little bit of trading. I do want to see Dark Aavak go and meditate. When is Dark Aavak going to meditate at this point? Have a look at the schedule. What hour is it? It is currently the 19th hour. So we've got 5 hours of work, then Dark Aavak's going to get in 2 hours of meditation. Let me just have a look at the schedule again. You know what? Since Dark Aavak is going to be meditating, I'm going to reduce his morning work a little bit, just so he's got a decent bit of free time, because he is going to have to use some of it to meditate. So we're going to balance that out a little bit. Right, let's go and see what they have to trade. Hopefully it is something useful. Right, you've got 125 cash there. That's very, very nice. Nothing really that we want to buy, unfortunately. I mean, I guess I could get more medicine, but we've already got 15. I don't think that's required, so thank you, but no trade today, I'm afraid. No trade today. There we go, getting a bunch of stuff down here. That's marvelous, and we can also set up these rocks to be hauled, since that will allow people to take those out of there on their way back, which will actually be quite good. As for the floors, new recruit. Way! Termite has actually been recruited. Well done, Lady Wolfheart. That was fantastically well done. Excellent. They have accepted. Well, okay. We need a new name. Say hello to Bone Dragon. Orange Bone Dragon Termite. That's actually quite an interesting name, even as is. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, welcome to the Sanguine Dirge. You're incapable of nothing. You're a hard worker. You're teetotal. You abhor the idea of gaining pleasure from chemicals. He strictly avoids alcohol and recreational drugs, but you're also a brawler with a pretty good melee ability. I like that a lot. Now, we do need to get you a sleeping spot, so let's go ahead and get you a good human leather bedroll. You're going to be sleeping in here with Evil Friend for now. Let's have a look. Actually, let's check out your friendships first. Let's just make sure that you're not... Okay, good. Phew. Right, you're not on good terms with Ica, hard worker versus lazy, and you're not on good terms with Dark Aavak because botched my surgery, hard worker versus lazy, butchered human-like corpse, and ate raw human-like meat. What surgery did we botch on you? What? When? Huh. Okay. But you're actually incredibly good friends with Lady Wolfheart. Possibly the only person in the colony is. How does Lady Wolfheart think about you? Nothing so far. Given that, then, let's cancel this. We're going to have you stay in Lady Wolfheart's room. There we go. We'll even go ahead and we'll build you a little marble bed stand there. Let's try and get this going if we can, because that's going to be grand. Right, let's have a look at your schedule as well. Given that you're on fairly good terms with Lady Wolfheart, it would make more sense for Lady Wolfheart and you to share a schedule. And Evil Friend and Ica can now share a schedule as well, because they're not on particularly good terms with Lady Wolfheart, let's be honest. I mean, Evil Friend is. In fact, Evil Friend is Lady Wolfheart's best friend in the colony. But Ica very much not so. So that seems okay for now. In fact, how are Ica and Dark Aavak? They're actually friends. So given that, given that, Ika, we're going to have everyone there working on this schedule. But Ika and Dark Aavak are going to share this one. Now, the thing here is you're going to have slightly different schedule there, just because you don't need to meditate. But that should help out. Now, as for the setup here under work, we'll go with the same priorities that we've got for everyone else. Dark Aavak, let's pop you on a 2 there. 2 there as well. And there we go. Now, you're pretty much not good at anything. I'm going to be honest, and that sucks. But I will have you working on wardening and handling where you can. Construction as a 3. In fact, I might even put construction on a 2 for you. You've got a little bit of interest in plant growing, so you're at least as capable as Dark Aavak for that. So you should have that one. But for the crafting jobs, those are going to be your bread and butter, I think. We're not going to have you doing art. You're not good at it. And I only want people who are legitimately good at art to be doing art. However, that being said, I do want to get some people working on cleaning and some people working on hauling. Let's get all of that done where we can, please. Let's try and sort out this settlement a bit, because there's so many jobs that aren't getting done, and it is a little bit vexing. Right, so with that, we're going to uninstall this bedroll, and you can now have your own room, which is going to be quite nice. There we are. So if we can get all of these beds constructed, oh, that's fantastic. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Critical risk, a major break risk on Bone Dragon. Well, I mean, yeah. You're hungry, that's going to go away. You are in minor pain, and that's going to be the case for a little while, but hopefully, I mean, you can have some Psych IT if you really want. That's a massive upgrade over the life you've been having whilst in jail. One can only assume that this is one of the best days that you've ever been alive for. Right, there we go. That being said, you're from a tribal background, so you probably had Psych IT for days. Oh, you've been going through a massive dark age period in your life. I'm so sorry, but it's all over now. Right, now with the rest of this room, I don't know what kind of flooring we're going to put in there yet. We'll try and get something nice though, if we can. But for the time being, at least Dark Aavak has somewhere that he can meditate at. But unfortunately, I completely missed him meditating because I was a little bit focused on other things. On the plus side, though, we do have quite a few things going. Tattered apparel, that's no good. We really need a place for growing some cotton, frankly. Now then. Right now we've got enough rice that I'm going to say that this particular one is going to swap over to growing cotton. We'll have 2 rice fields and corn growing, and that should help out. Now, Bone Dragon, I would like to hopefully get you... Yeah, I would like to get Bone Dragon a peg leg sooner rather than later. I mean, to be fair, it's still getting around fairly well considering. If you have a look at health, you're only on 46% there. Berserk, duck. Duck! Please stop. Right, let's get in there. We're going to slow this down. And the first thing we're going to do is we're immediately going to stun you. Pop. And pop. There you go. Can we just arrest you? Oh, well. Ika, if you could wake up and help out with this. Bone Dragon, I guess. Yeah, you're a very good melee combatant. You're unarmed, but you're fighting against someone who's basically knocked out. Uh-oh, too late for you. Duck, you might not live through this one. Did Yoko get any attacks? This is what we need to check. Yeah, gnawed Duck in the torso savagely. Let's have a look. What took you down? It was Dark Aavak, actually. Beat Duck, smashing her right leg and right tibia. A bruise made Duck crumple. Okay, well, very well. Let's have a look at your health. Left arm destroyed. Well, that's not fresh. Yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah, you completely destroyed the left arm. Caused Termite used his right fist to bash Duck so hard in the arm, crushing her left arm and bruising her left shoulder, that the arm basically fell off. Wow. That is a bit brutal. Not gonna lie. Right. A little bit of heat there. Let's take Duck to bed, please. There we go. And then prioritize tending Duck also. There we go. Let's get this place cleaned up a little bit, shall we? How much slate have we got? We've got a reasonable amount of slate blocks that we should be able to, at this point, afford to get the floor in here sorted out. So this will at least stop being an untidy room. That would be ideal for us, frankly. It truly would. Right, okay. Carry on with the work then, evil friend. What is this? This is granite down here. That's okay. We do need a little bit more slate, though, so let's mark that to be brought in. Okay, well, that was a bit of fun and craziness, but let's try and avoid it for where we can. Right, we're on the 13th hour. It's going to be quite a while before we see Dark Aavak go off for any more meditation, which is a bit of a pain in the bum, but oh well. Ooh, are you still tending yourself? You are. That's a bit of a shame. Let me just make sure that no one is set to tend themselves, because it is always better for someone else to do it where they can. Right, we have not been moving this battery across, so let's uninstall this, or rather reinstall over here. There we go, and install this one down there. Let's get that one in place pretty quickly. In fact, let's prioritize that one. Not after you wake up. Oh. Thought someone was going to come along and move that battery. In fact, could you move this one now? Just so that it doesn't cause any crazy explosions. There you go. Thank you. There we go. These batteries are doing okay for now. Everything seems alright. We're getting a good bit of cleaning done. I can only assume that that is going to be a massive help for us. And Bone Dragon is helping out with the carving, which is pretty amazing, actually. We're getting a lot of these blocks taken care of. We do need more marble brought in when we get the chance. I'll mark those for transport as well. It's going to take us a bit of time, but you know, we'll get there eventually. And we got a lot of work to do back here as well. I am going to want a door. We'll go with a granite door, and then we're going to want some granite cladding as well on the outside here. Something like that. And in fact, all the way up this wall, which means... Oh, now this is the tricky part. I've got wall lights on both sides of this wall. I'll just remove one of them, and we'll see if we were lucky enough to get the right one, but I suspect we probably aren't. Right, there we are. Dark Aavak is fully healed. Marvellous work. Marvellous work. And I get it's fully healed. Oh, this is grand. This is the first time in a long while that everyone has been healthy. I'm very, very happy with it indeed. Dark Aavak's making sure to get plenty of meals for our colonists. We've got loads of rice available for that, so that should not be... Ah, there we go. Let's slow this down. So you're meditating now. Let's have a quick look. How is this affecting things? We may see that change. Kind of some sort of psychic wobble. Interesting. Lens effect there. That's actually pretty cool. Do we have a direct readout on your psi level? Have we got any direct information about that, perhaps? No, it doesn't look like. Neural heat recovery rate, meditation psi focus gain. The amount of psi focus a person gains per day of meditation, ignoring bonuses from focus objects. Oh, okay. Right. But that's a day of meditation. That's kind of crazy. You'd need an awful lot of that. Neural heat, psychic sensitivity. It would be nice to increase that. I can only imagine that would affect psionics. It would still affect psionics in a good way, as opposed to how it used to, where it was affected your psychas, but also the negatives of psychic effect. I assume that that's still the case here, rather than changing that. I imagine it's still the case, I should have said. But we're also getting our corn planted. Now, it does mean that some of these rice plants are being harvested a little bit earlier than they should have been, but that's fine. Sorry, not corn, the cotton, because this is going to allow us to do a lot more work with the tailor's bench, and we definitely need to get some more of these going. Got lots of dusters, parkers, pants, patch leather, etc., etc. If we can get that cotton in, then we can make sure that everyone has always got something good to wear. There we go. You're having some delicious noms there. Good girl. Right, okay. So with that, Dark Aavak is actually getting through the rice supply a little bit faster than I would like, if I'm perfectly honest. I was hoping that might last a little bit longer, but hopefully once the first corn harvest comes in, one
harvest of corn, 1 harvest of rice should be enough for us. We'll see. I am a little bit concerned that we might need to adjust that a little bit more. But perhaps we'll just rotate this field, get 1 full harvest of corn, and then rotate it back to rice for a few harvests, and then swap that around. But it looks like we're not actually discharging anymore. I was wondering about that, self-discharging 5 watts, but we'll see. We will watch that, but it looks like maybe we're not actually losing anything. It might be a case that we're losing so little that it's hard to actually follow that, but we'll see how that goes. Overall, people's moods are being kept at a reasonable level. I'm very, very thankful for that. But for now, yeah, we did actually take it from the wrong side. Okay, reinstall that on this side, please. That will sort all of that out. Let's see how ducks resistance is going. It's actually going down reasonably fast. It's going down by 1.5 each time. That won't be long before we can try and recruit duck. And then we will be up to a full whopping 6 members of the colony. But I think that's going to be where we're going to wrap this episode up. Now, I am, as some of you are aware, I am uploading streams to my second YouTube channel, that is Aavak After Hours. You can find a link to that on the homepage, just down in the sidebar. But I am considering streaming some Rimworld in the very near future. Now, typically I run with, interesting scenarios that I'll set up, like permanent toxic fallout and such. But I'm kind of feeling that maybe I should just check out a straight up, just normal game. No weird modifiers to the scenario. Just play a game. And honestly, I am kind of interested in playing a tribal run again. It's been a while since I've done one of those, and playing around with the whole anima tree mechanic seems like it'll be quite an interesting one as well. Do let me know if you'd be interested in that. Of course, you'd be welcome and, in fact, encouraged to catch it live. But if you don't, you can always catch the VODs. Typically, anything I stream these days is going up on my second channel in 30-minute VOD format, just kind of bite-sized amounts you can watch on lunch breaks, etc., etc. But I would very much like to hear your feedback on whether you'd be interested in seeing just a regular Rimworld run. In addition to this will continue to be going up on the main channel and would be much larger chunks and quite often edited, whereas the VODs would just be straight up from the stream. Do let me know down in the comments below. But that's going to be it from me. I really hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next. But until then, and as always, do take care, everyone.